The Truth UFOs, One Person's Opinion Part 2. These groups periodically perform seeding and genetic enhancements on the native species in order to steer it in the desired direction. This is ongoing. Humanity on Earth has communication with various groups of these beings. They commonly interact with specific people or small groups in order to further their own research and objectives, most often genetic in nature, as they combine DNA from different species to create new and interesting types of entities with new types of conscious perception and abilities. The groups interacting with humanity are generally highly advanced both in terms of technology and consciousness. They communicate and control their crafts telepathically. Their technology has the ability to warp space-time and to use wormholes to travel immense distances in very short periods of time from our perspective. They have the ability to manipulate memory and perception. During encounters with humans, they will often cloak themselves in order to appear to the observer as a more familiar entity, such as a werewolf, fairy, or angel, but most often attempt to erase the memory of the encounter altogether. These groups have been in contact with humanity since the beginning. They are in fact our creators, and we are as much a part of them as they are a part of us. Throughout our evolution, they have been in contact with societal leaders, at times more or less directly and obviously. We have at times considered them as gods, and they have actively worked to generate various religions in order to steer human society. They have also given us technology. In prior cycles of human civilization, these entities were in direct contact with societal leaders and have assisted us in developing new technologies and helping to protect us from harm, though there are limits to this ability. They help facilitate our evolution but prefer to stay hidden. They love to watch us evolve. There have been many cycles of humanity in which great societies rose and fell. The last cycle ended with a major flood that disrupted global civilization roughly 12,000 years ago. They assisted with the resurgence of modern civilization. Prior cycles of civilization on Earth have included varieties of humans that were much more spiritually advanced than we are currently. They had technologies that we no longer possess, such as the ability to manipulate and soften stone. There have been civilizations that included giants, and those with the ability to live much longer than we do today. There have also been highly intelligent non-human species that have evolved on Earth in prior cycles. Some of them are still around, living underground and in the world's oceans. They also have the ability to exist in and traverse other planes of reality than the physical one we most commonly find ourselves in here. They can phase in and out of this physical space-time using consciousness-oriented technology. Various groups continue to be in contact with humanity. In recent times, the U.S. government has been at the center of this contact. The U.S. government has been in contact with some of these groups since before Roswell, though our advancement into nuclear technology certainly sparked greater attention and increased the frequency of their visits. This ignited a realization within the government that reports of visitation were real and had to be taken much more seriously. Government officials wanted to be seen as in control. At the time, and with the best of intentions, a decision was made to hide this information from the public. It must be considered that this was during a time of war and fear. There was a concern of societal collapse if the information were to be released, and there was good reason to believe so. Elements within the U.S. government, specifically the Air Force and CIA, have since gone to extreme lengths to hide, obscure, confuse, and obfuscate this information. This has included either colluding with or pressuring other world governments, and has in many cases included the assassination of individuals who threaten to expose the truth. The U.S. government has invested immense resources in reverse engineering non-human craft technology, and while progress has been very slow, they have had a lot of success. They have developed the ability to warp space-time and travel immense distances almost instantaneously using crafts that are controlled telepathically. There are nonetheless many aspects of this technology that participants within these programs still do not understand. They have possession of non-human bodies and have active contact with non-human entities. Decades ago, these programs were transitioned to existing largely within private industry and special access programs (SAPs) that allow them to be shielded from scrutiny even within the government while still receiving significant funding. There are very few people who are given access to this information, and even those who are read in are usually done so in a very compartmentalized manner. They are not shown the full picture. Even presidents are usually not informed. However, even these individuals who are in the know do not know the full truth. They are fed information that is sometimes conflicting and confusing and at times outright false. They struggle to understand the true scope of what they are dealing with. There are informed human individuals within the U.S. government that want to release the truth more broadly. They face immense pressure from others to not do so, who are worried that release of this information will lead to societal collapse and even nuclear fallout. Often these fears have religious origins as well. They've also backed themselves into a very tough position in which they've been lying to the public for so long that it is now very difficult to come forth and admit the extent of these lies while maintaining some degree of credibility. They are also very reluctant to admit that we are not the dominant force in the universe, or even on this planet. The world is ready to know. Nefarious components within world governments continue to collude and conspire to keep this information hidden. They deploy tactics and use the media to keep the populace focused on things like nationalism, religion, gender, and race. They pretend that these are the most pressing issues that we face as a species. It is now time to evolve past the secrecy and to invite a more candid global perspective. Post from user OKDonut 9813 at UFO at Reddit. Comments. I think you are closer to the truth than even I was going into this post. I have had personal experiences with beings that can do things akin to magic. Extremely clear cloud formations, a single cloud that disappeared in 10 seconds. It took my friend to walk to the end of the garage. A shooting star while asking for a sign, a shadow entity shaped as a human. Things that materialistic beings shouldn't be able to do, but perhaps an ascended master could. I would like to think it is divinity that I am interacting with, but I do not know for certain. I appreciate the effort, and you should put this in spirituality, awakened, experiencers, or even high strangeness. Here in this sub, you won't get the traction you would with Redditors that have personal experience with what you are talking about. Peace, love and light. Comment from user Broges0311 at UFO at Reddit.